As I told you already, a really negative and scary outcome, one of the many, of Trump's victory is the big question mark as to what's going to happen with U.S. policy as it pertains to Ukraine. Trump has been the leader of a movement that despises Ukraine. He himself is just super vague on it, but his admiration for Putin and some of what he has said about Russia's invasion of Ukraine leaves a lot of people wondering, is he just going to give up on supporting Ukraine? Or is he going to facilitate a deal, peace, that's really just encouragement for Putin in short order to continue taking more and more land of Ukraine and devastating more and more Ukrainian civilians? Is it going to be something that's just handing to Putin whatever he wants in this moment so that he knows he should do it more in the future? That, what I just outlined, seems to be the most likely thing that Trump has in his mind. And because of that and the tension between Zelenskyy and Trump, I do want to get to how Zelenskyy reacted in a statement to Trump's victory. But first, this clip that is from October, if I'm not mistaken, has been recirculating and going viral once again, of Zelenskyy saying something very bluntly about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I want to play that for you and then get on to other things. While you watch this, please remember to click the subscribe button if you appreciate this show and you want to support it in the free way. You can do that by just clicking the YouTube subscribe button. I appreciate it greatly.
President Zelenskyy, thank you so much. Before you go, if you want to share, what keeps you going? Do you ever feel defeated?
I have a lot of power, but even feeling strong and have a lot of energy, it doesn't mean that we want to fight all our life, because the price is high, like I said, because the war takes the best of us, the best heroes, the best men, women, children. That's it. But we are not ready to give our freedom to this terrorist Putin. That's it. That's why we are fighting. That's it.
President Zelenskyy, thank you so much for your...
A wild way to end an interview, but rather epic. We aren't ready to give our freedom to this effing terrorist Putin. Now, MAGA often looks at moments like that and goes, see, he's a warmonger. And anyone who supports Ukraine and wants money and resources and supplies to go to Ukraine, you're all warmongers. You just salivate at the thought of war. No, that's Putin. That's the person that Trump is strangely admiring in so many of these speeches and interviews. What we want is lasting peace. And that doesn't come of going, all right, which is apparently reportedly what the Trump camp is considering, trying to get Ukraine to go, all right, the 20% of the country you currently occupy, Russia, you go ahead and just keep that. But promise us you won't do any more invading. Or you could stop Russia in their tracks and prove to them if they ever try this again, it's going to be failure again. That's how you get lasting peace in this situation. But before showing you a time that Zelenskyy was a little bit more clear on his feelings about Trump, he does have to, given that Trump's about to be the president of the United States, again, Zelenskyy did have to congratulate Trump, saying congratulations to Donald Trump on his impressive election victory. I recall our great meeting with President Trump back in September when we discussed in detail the U.S.-Ukraine strategic partnership, the victory plan, and ways to put an end to Russian aggression against Ukraine. I appreciate President Trump's commitment to the peace through strength approach in global affairs. This is exactly the principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer. I'm hopeful that we will put it into action together. So they're using Trump's language because peace through strength does look like supporting Ukraine in this situation, using Trump's line there to appeal to him. We look forward to an era of a strong United States of America under President Trump's decisive leadership. We rely on continued strong bipartisan support for Ukraine and the United States. We're interested in developing mutually beneficial political and economic cooperation that will benefit both of our nations. Ukraine, as one of Europe's strongest military powers, is committed to ensuring long-term peace and security in Europe and the transatlantic community with the support of our allies. I'm looking forward to personally congratulating President Trump and discussing ways to strengthen Ukraine's strategic partnership with the United States. So this is what Zelenskyy has to do. Even though we know he's devastated that Vice President Harris did not win, as is a lot of the world. Do you know who's excited though? Putin, Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, people who know it's so easy to manipulate Donald Trump. If you show them a long line of soldiers saluting and tell Trump that they're only loyal to you as a dictator, then Trump will pee his pants a little bit and do whatever you'd like. In 2023, Zelenskyy, when it was a little bit longer away, the prospect of Trump potentially becoming president, now we know he will be becoming president, he said this about his relationship with Trump.
Have you had any contact with former President Trump since he left office, President Zelenskyy?
No. No. That's why he's very welcome. To repeat our tradition, which was when he was the president.
Do you think he would have Ukraine's back if he were to be reelected?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope that it depends not only on president institutionally. I think it depends on the opinion of Americans, of your society. I think that is most important. I think it's important in the United States and EU, the attitude of just ordinary people. It's their support, it's their money. It's depends on them.
And that will play a role for sure, but Trump, as someone who doesn't have to win any more re-elections, is going to be trying to please his base first and foremost. And his base is vicious towards Zelenskyy, towards Ukraine. They really do. Some of them root on Putin. Longer conversation that we've had before as to how he got there and why they do that. But then some of them, the more moderate members of the extreme base, see Ukraine as just a conflict we shouldn't, let's not worry about that. We don't have to get involved in other people's affairs. Not understanding the global impact of Russia being enabled in this sort of behavior. And so Trump's going to see them saying a dime going to Ukraine is a violation of Trump's promise to them. And I don't want to predict this, but it seems far too likely that he'd cave to them long before he caved to a majority opinion in the United States. So often we've seen him have far more political success than he ever should have by placating his base first and foremost. His extreme rhetoric right before the election clearly didn't impact it. He now feels affirmed in that, which is really, really disturbing. A reminder of their most recent meeting. This was just a couple months, I think, before the election.
So we have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have, I see. Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango, you know, and we will,
well, actually, it takes one in this case to tango in relation to invading another country. That was just one side did that. And one side could stop invading and boom, we have peace. And there seems to be, after watching history, or very recent history unfold, Russia's invasion of Georgia, Crimea, and now all of Ukraine, it seems to be the case that Putin's only going to listen to failure with this effort. And Trump's childlike mind is so convinced by his secret phone calls with Putin that we learned about right before the election, where Putin probably tells him, no, I also just want peace or something. And Trump goes, well, okay then. Just like how you told me you didn't interfere in the election, I'm going to believe you about that. This is who America selected as president. Someone who, as Vice President Harris has pointed out, through flattery and rhetoric can be so easily manipulated by other world leaders. This is who we say, give them all the power. Come on. Because I don't understand what's causing egg prices to be what they are. You also have this.
I mean, right now I'm campaigning, so right now I don't have much to do with it other than we're doing very well in terms of the campaign, and I've been saying that I believe if I win, we're going to have a very fair and I think actually rather rapid deal. It should stop, and the president wants it to stop, and I'm sure President Putin wants it to stop. And that's a good combination. So we want to have a fair deal for everybody.
What do you envision as fair?
Well, it's too early to say that. I mean, I have my own ideas. And
How does it make sense to you or anyone that Putin must also want this to end? You're standing next to Zelenskyy. Just to put this in different terms, it's like standing next to someone as someone else punches them in the face, boom, 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 and then looking over and going, the person being punched here clearly wants the punching to stop. I think the puncher does too, though. Then why do they keep punching? He could just withdraw his troops now. Oh, but he told me, and he said that I'm a really powerful and strong and handsome man, and that he wishes that I were his son or dad. I think Trump's older than Putin. Never mind. So I believe him. It's embarrassing. It's globally humiliating, but we charge forward. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you want to support this show a step further than what I mentioned earlier with subscribing, you can do that by becoming a member, clicking the join button below.